You can experience pain and trauma and suffering and not only make it out the other end, but you can utilize those life experiences to thrive. Prison saved my life because it gave me time to think on a deeper level. And I wouldn't be the father or the husband I am today had I not seen what my parents endured and felt the effects of their struggle. I didn't have the mom I needed. I didn't have the dad I needed. But it's allowing me to be the man that I need to be for my children. You can't go back in time, but you can change the way you live going forward based on what you experienced. And if you can do that and you can shift your perspective and mentality around those life circumstances, it can drive you and inspire you like nothing else will in your life. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Michael Crane. And today I got a really powerful message for anybody who's gone through a struggle in their life. Anybody that's gone through adversity, hardships, moments where you felt like you might not make it. I'm talking about some really serious life experience. I've been through a lot myself, and I know people who didn't make it out the other end. Their demons, their life circumstances, those experiences that they went through defeated them. Now, my mission is to live as an example to everybody that I come across, to demonstrate that you can go through hardships and adversity, you can experience pain and trauma and suffering, and not only make it out the other end, but you can utilize those life experiences to thrive. I want you to know if you're somebody who struggled with addiction, if you're somebody who has trauma that you suppressed, you went through a divorce, a breakup, you lost loved ones, you lost parts of your life because you didn't have a purpose. Whatever it is, I want you to know that those memories and experiences can actually serve you. They can become assets that aid you and guide you, not just to live a decent life and to get by, but to live an ultimate life, a life far superior to what you would have lived had you not gone through those experiences. I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on that. If you're somebody that's gone through tough times, I want you to pause for a moment and think about the fact those experiences could actually allow you to live a far greater and better life than had you not gone through them. Can you imagine that? You see, most people that go through hardships and experience pain and suffering and trauma, they're always thinking about the negative aspects of what they went through, what they lost, what could have been if it didn't happen. They're stuck in the past. They haven't accepted it. There's resentments, there's anger, there's suppressed emotion. And because of that, it compromises them for the rest of their life. They're always afflicted. There's always pain internalized that they can't escape. And that's why so many people turn to drugs and alcohol. So many people take their own lives. So many people go through life begrudgingly and they never get past those moments. And I've seen a lot of those people in my own life. My dad was one, my mother was another, my uncles. And it pains me to think about the fact that they had so much potential and so many gifts that God had bestowed upon them, but they couldn't fully utilize them or tap into that brilliance that they possessed because they were afflicted from the past and the things that they endured. You see, I went through a lot of tough times myself, and I figured out a way to turn my trauma and my pain or adversity into a superpower that has turned me into an exceptional individual than I ever would have become had I not gone through those experiences. So in this clip, I want to share with you how I went about that and how you can too if you're somebody who still feels afflicted. Now, the other day, I was driving my daughter Scarlett to school, and I take her to school most days. And we have a little routine where we sing a song and play music on the way to school. She likes Taylor Swift. She likes certain songs. And I just put it on Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, and I sing with her. And I cherish those moments. And the other day, Jelly Roll, you know who Jelly Roll is, I'm sure. His song came on talking about, his past. And you can hear the pain in his voice. And he has such passion. And there's so much emotion. And some of the greatest music or movies that we like and tune into and are drawn to are about tragedy, because something happens to an individual and they go through those types of moments where they feel on a different level and they can express that emotion in a way that is so palpable. It's so, what is the word? It's attractive. It's compelling. There's something about the way that emotion is felt. It inspires you on a level that very few things can, we're all inspired by death because then it makes us want to live the ultimate life, or people overcoming adversity, like the hero's journey. But we're also inspired by beautiful things like seeing a child born, getting married, falling in love. There's two ends of the spectrum. But I'm a firm believer that pain and suffering, right, that other end of the spectrum, far from the gratitude of seeing your child born, that pain can motivate you and inspire you like nothing else. because human beings were inspired or motivated to change our behavior when the pain threshold is met. And you meet some individuals that have endured so much pain. If they can overcome their circumstances and they can find meaning in those moments of suffering, those are the individuals that can do the most amazing things with their life. Those are the people that become superstars like Jelly Roll. Those are the people that create movies like Sylvester Stallone about his journey as Rocky, right? This character that he created. But all of these individuals that we look up to at some point faced immense amounts of adversity that they found a way to grow through, to overcome. They developed strength and the ability to persevere. And so my message to you is, if you're somebody who's suffered and been afflicted on any level, I want you to know that within you, if you can find the strength to persevere, you look for the lessons in those moments, you will now become a superior version of yourself that you could have never fathomed becoming. But the key element here is that you must find meaning in those moments of pain and suffering. If you're not able to attach meaning that gives your life more purpose or helps you to see that you can make a positive change in the future, you won't be able to utilize those experiences to aid you. They will always haunt you. Your demons will feast upon your potential until the day that you die. You know, I saw that happen to my dad, and this is what I thought about the other day when I was driving with Scarlett. I get emotional all the time thinking about my dad. He was my best friend, and he didn't make it. You know, he made it as far as he could. But when Jelly Roll was singing, like, I'm a lost cause, I'm a long-haired son of a sinner, he's talking about like all this stuff he went through and saw and the trauma and why he used drugs to numb out his pain. And I couldn't help think of my dad because that was his life story, and I was following in his footsteps. And God intervened in my life and sent me to prison so I could get away from this chaos, away from those relationships, and find a deeper sense of meaning and purpose in my life. You know, and that's what happened to me. In jail, I reflected on all my mistakes, all the things I wish I would have done, all the time I wasted. And I was able to find meaning in those moments of pain and suffering that I endured for all that time. I was able to connect the dots from those moments to the moments I was in my jail cell, and then to the future and beyond and the life I wanted to create. And in those pivotal moments in my cell, I started thinking about how God had sent me to jail to save my life from an accidental overdose and to potentially get sober. Or how God had sent me to prison so that I could get away from my dad and my codependent relationships with family members and the toxicity that I had with my friends in that lifestyle, so that I could finally figure out who I was as a person and be my true and my authentic self. You know, I started realizing, wow, this is actually an opportunity. This is an opportunity to have the comeback of a lifetime, to experience something and overcome this challenge in a way that's inspiring to others. These are the stories that people write books about, and people share their messages from stage about these pivotal moments in their lives. Like, I could become that person. I could become that source of inspiration. I could be that leader. I could be that person for others that I needed when I was younger. And it all clicked for me, man. And I realized that my incarceration, my addiction to drugs and alcohol, and even growing up with parents who were battling their own ailments, those were all experiences that could serve me to become a better human being. That's how I made sense of my life experiences and found meaning in those moments of immense pain and suffering, moments that I barely endured and overcame, moments where I thought about taking my own life and I was trying to accidentally overdose on purpose, unconsciously. And I think a lot of people meet that fate because they're not able to have the clarity and the realizations I had. And that's why prison saved my life, because it gave me time to think on a deeper level. And I wouldn't be the father or the husband I am today had I not seen what my parents endured and felt the effects of their struggle. Like, I'm dedicated to my family in a way that I wouldn't be. I feel a sense of gratitude and love every time I look at Scarlett sing or play with Preston or have conversations with Mason. Every time I touch Jessica's belly and feel her belly and feel little Bella kick in there. I'm feeling her come to life, man. And it's like, wow, these moments are so special. These are the moments for many years I prayed for and envisioned, and now they're here. And I'm able to soak them up and be present on a level I never would have. You know, I'm able to be dedicated to my family on a level I never would have, and share love with them on a level I never would have, because I know what it's like not to have that growing up. And that's another way I've been able to make meaning to those moments that I went through. Like, I didn't have the mom I needed. Like, I didn't have the dad I needed. But it's allowing me to be the man that I need to be for my children. Maybe I would have made a mistake. Maybe I wouldn't have had that foresight or had this type of internal dialogue had I not gone through that stuff that allowed me to be the best man and father I could be, the best husband. And so I just want to share that with you guys. I want you to think about the stuff that you've gone through that you still look back on as negative or that you still have shame attached to. Moments in your life that you can't change. You can't go back in time, but you can change the way you live going forward based on what you experienced. And if you can do that and you can shift your perspective and mentality around those life circumstances, it can drive you and inspire you like nothing else will in your life. It'll take everything to the next level. And that's how you can create a superpower out of your pain, out of your adversity, out of your hardships, and out of your trauma. And I want you to do me a favor. If you know somebody who's struggling, it might not be you. I want you to share this message with them. I want you to copy the link and send it to them right away. I want this message to touch as many lives as possible because I know so many people are still trapped in this mental prison where they feel bad about what they went through. They can't escape the past, and it's going to plague them for the rest of their lives unless they can create this type of perspective shift that can allow them to see things differently going forward. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. Let's continue to change the world together.